Disturbed frontman David Draiman has made himself perfectly clear over the years that he doesn't like Roger Waters, the former vocalist of Pink Floyd, who's been accused of being anti-Semitic. People have taken issue with some of the imagery during his performances, like flying an inflatable pig over the crowd with the Star of David on it. Now, Waters has denied allegations that he's anti-Semitic from even one of his own former bandmates. The legendary David Gilmour has spoken out against him in recent years as well. And Draiman has previously called out Roger Waters during a performance just last year in Tel Aviv, Israel, where he blasted Waters on stage. Here's a little bit of what he had to say back then. So this was from June of last year, where Disturbed was performing a special performance in Tel Aviv, Israel. This is obviously a place that is of significant importance to David Draiman, given his heritage. Members of his family live there as well. So he gave a very passionate speech and called out Roger Waters during this. And then we're going to get to his recent comments where he says he's even willing to go to jail if he saw Roger Waters in person. Here's Draiman.
Roger Waters and all the rest of his every last one of them. We don't need that shit. We've survived worse than them and will continue surviving worse than them. They can make up any lie they want. They can create any kind of bullshit story they want. We know the truth. History knows the truth. We're not going anywhere.
Now, beyond even just David Draiman calling out Roger Waters, his own former bandmate David Gilmour has also blasted him and accused him of being anti-Semitic. It was in February of last year that Gilmour's wife released a letter going scorched earth on Waters. Here's a little bit of what that said. And as I mentioned, this is from February of last year in Variety. It says, Roger Waters is anti-Semitic to rotten core, says former Pink Floyd lyricist Polly Samson, and her husband, Waters' former bandmate David Gilmour in Pink Floyd, emphatically agrees. Samson and Gilmour also called Waters a Putin apologist and a lip syncer. Here's more. Now, the important thing to point out immediately here is after she went scorched earth on him in this letter, David Gilmour emphatically agreed and shared this post right here, writing every word demonstrably true. She wrote at the time, sadly, Roger Waters, you are anti-Semitic to your rotten core, also a Putin apologist and a lying, thieving, hypocritical, tax-avoiding, lip-syncing, misogynistic, sick with envy, megalomaniac. Enough of your nonsense. And it wasn't long after that Roger Waters put out a statement in response to those comments made online, writing, Roger Waters is aware of the incendiary and wildly inaccurate comments made about him on Twitter by Polly Samson, which he refutes entirely. He's currently taking advice as to his position, which sounded like maybe he was consulting with legal counsel about this. Now, for his part, Roger Waters has denied allegations that he's anti-Semitic, releasing a statement last year responding to all of these claims. Here's what he said at the time. And here's a little bit of that statement he posted on his website. He wrote, all my life I've used the platform my career has given me to support causes I believe in. I passionately believe in universal human rights. I've always worked to make the world a better, more just, and more equitable place for all my brothers and sisters all over the world, irrespective of their ethnicity, religion, or nationality, from indigenous peoples threatened by the U.S. oil industry to Iranian women protesting for their rights. That's why I am active in the nonviolent protest movement against the Israeli government's illegal occupation of Palestine and its egregious treatment of Palestinians. And so back to David Draiman. In a new podcast appearance with Linda Advocate, Draiman is going off on Roger Waters and says he would gladly go to jail if he ran into him. He clearly feels very strongly about this. Here's a little of what he had to say at the time. Draiman told Linda Advocate, he's a piece of work, that deluded old freak, anti-Semitic to his rotten core. Just ask David Gilmour and his wife. They'll testify to it. He's been that way for the duration of his life and the duration of his career. It's nothing new. He's a coward. He's a hypocrite. He's a supporter of dictators and dictatorial regimes all over the world. He's an apologist for Putin and apologist for anybody that's on the wrong side of history. He's a deluded wannabe socialist as well. He continued, Everything that he wrote about, everything that he professed to believe in that was so, even a maniac can create great art. And it's hard to argue with that level of artistry, let's say, a piece of work like The Wall. But everything that he was trying to convey and express in that piece of art, he has shown himself to be a hypocrite for. I was already losing my mind with him years ago when he was flying around a pig in his stadiums with the Star of David on it. The guy is a bully. And he wouldn't even dare engage with me because it's not about logic and reasoning and facts and reality to people like him. It's about the narrative. It's all about their hate-fueled, anti-Semitic, just spite-filled narrative that they continue to fuel, this narrative of demonization of our people, of the state of Israel, their inability to accept the fact that we even exist. He's a monster. When he was asked if he and Gilmore had ever met in the past, this was his response. "Oh, I'd love to meet him in person. Nothing would make me happier. I'd gladly serve whatever jail time and pay the bail necessary for whatever I could get done within a very limited period of time." So if you had any doubts about how David Draiman feels about Roger Waters, now you clearly understand. We'll let you know if we hear any more about this. That is your latest update from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates.